Wait a minute. All right. So, hi, my name is Erin Kerr, and this is.
I'm Angie Due.
And we are sitting here together in a shop, a beautiful healing space called the Mindful Lotus on Main Street in Lake Elsinore. And Angie is the shop owner.
Yes.
I'm so honored and so excited to be talking with you today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I want to know your story.
Well, I'm gonna tell it. I am.
That's really, really good. We just want to welcome the audience. We don't know exactly who you're going to be because we're going to put this up on some websites and on some social media sites. And so you are, who watches this is supposed to watch this. And we've prayed already for you today, and we have a good intention. Tomorrow is the new moon, so it's a time for setting intentions. And I'm gonna ask you, Angie, right now, because we talked about it a little bit before, so we kind of know where we're going. Who would you like to inform about what's going on in your life and in your in our community here in Elsinore?
Okay, well. To begin with, we have our third annual wellness fair coming up on May 18th. It's a Saturday. We want to bring in wellness to our community for the mind, body, spirit, for those searching, and just looking for wellness in our community. We don't have a lot of people here that are aware that we do have these types of healings and in yoga and retreats and things like that. People go elsewhere and they step outside of Riverside County. And we have a lot of things here, and I think people need to know that we have that here. So that's the purpose of the wellness fair.
So what kinds of people can we expect to see? What kinds of experiences can we expect to have at the third annual? I was at the first one and the second one, and I can't believe she's doing it 3 years in a row at the request of the City of Lake Elsinore.
Yes, we are co-sponsoring with the City of Lake Elsinore. So far we have, and it's early still, so we still have a few more months, but we have about 23 vendors already signed up. So we still have about, we could fit in maybe 20 more.
Yeah, hopefully. We can. Yes.
Last year we had 32 vendors. This year we have, the whole day is already full of demonstrations. We've got Reiki demonstrations, we've got reflexology demonstrations, yoga, we have a sound bath, drumming.
Oh my God, how awesome.
We've got pretty much a full day already as far as demonstrations. So people could come network. They could see some of the businesses, some of the organizations that are located here in Lake Elsinore and in the surrounding areas. So they do not need to go outside of our area. We have a lot of good healers and yoga people, and we have retreats. There's a lot available to us. We just need to come together in one central place so that we could find out where they're at.
Awesome. Let's see, what is going to be, can you tell us a little bit about the location?
The location is at the Lake Elsinore City Park. It's located on Main Street. I believe the address is 243 South Main Street, City of Lake Elsinore. Yeah.
So it's an old park, just saying, and for those of you who may or may not have ever been there, it's really it's like one of the original.
Yes.
It's
It's
going back to the early
really
1900s,
old.
probably,
Yes,
like the
yes.
1800s, and huge old trees and a lot of shade and a playground for kids. Mm-hmm. There's a restaurant kind of like in the park.
Right. And we're also going to have a kids zone at the fair, so that it's family friendly. You could bring your kids. There's activities for them to do, and it's family friendly. Bring everyone out.
Right.
Yes,
right.
Kids, everyone's welcome.
And so parking is going to be kind of like in the surrounding streets.
It's surrounding the park. Also, the city is allowing us to use the dirt lot that's behind the park, so we're allowed to use that for parking as we did last year. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's a good. How about buying things? How about artisans and crafts and things like that?
We've got lots of vendors. We've got crystal jewelry. We've got essential oils. We've got tarot card reader. We've got a psychic medium. We've got an animal charity, Lemon Ranch, who is an animal rescue. We've got tie-dye T-shirts. We've got vision boards from Jasmine Hill. Retreat. Oh my God, we have soap. She's not going to be there. Nope, not this time.
Okay.
We've got all kinds of things. We've actually got a really nice mix so far. So, and we still have some spaces available.
Yes. Okay, yes. So it starts at noon?
It starts at 11.
Oh, 11
to 5.
11 to 5. Oh, the hours are a little bit extended.
Yes, they gave us 6 hours. 6 hours this time. Okay, yes. Okay. And then we've got John and Kim Funmaker, who are going to be conducting the opening ceremony, the blessing of the land, which is mighty and powerful in itself. It always makes me cry.
Yeah.
So it's very powerful, and I'm truly grateful that they are again going to be doing this for us.
Yeah, yes. I know them, and I know a little bit about why they do that, and that is to honor the original people that lived in this area. And we did a little bit of research and found that they were called the Payache, and there's not very much written about them. The Temecula Indians down the road, there's more written about them.
Right.
But the Payache lived right here along the lake.
They did.
And they called the lake at Vengo Wuwoma, which means little sea with hot springs, because there used to be hot springs bubbling, I guess, right at the edge of the lake.
There's still a lot of the hot springs in the local area down here. Yeah.
Right. There's a couple like spa kind of places, right? Funky little places right here.
You can still go over there and soak.
Yeah, the original like sulfur water.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Payache gathered. They gathered here, and part of the traditions is to honor the original people that lived, wherever we go. And so we're very blessed, anywhere on the planet. Right. Honestly, there was original people, but in Southern California, that we had a lot of tribes that are still very active and are right here. And so the fun makers educate us always about the ancient ways, and those ways are powerful because they were done for thousands of years before we got here. So
and they do it in Lakota. They do the prayer. I've had actually people call the shop and ask if they're going to be here. They're going to be doing it again.
Wow.
There is 2 professors at one of the local colleges that actually reached out to me and said, "Can we bring our class?" And I said, yes, most definitely, they're going to be there, and we're truly honored to have them there. So I'm incredibly grateful. Thank you, John and Kim Funmaker.
Yeah, they're tapping into an ancient energy.
And they are.
Yeah,
and we're incredibly grateful to have them again.
That kind of segues me into your sort of original vision when I met you just, I guess, 3 years ago, was about ancestral knowledge.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that inspiration for that?
So the inspiration for that is I think that a lot of us, as we were talking about earlier, as we get older, we wish that we would have taken the time with our grandparents and our parents and asked them about their upbringing and their ancestors, what it was like. I know that for my family, as I said to you earlier, my grandparents used a lot of herbs to heal, and even we saw tinctures and we saw some of their ways, but we never stopped to think, and what are you doing with that? And we just thought everyone was treated with herbs at that time, and there was just so much that I should have asked.
Can you tell me, is that your grandmother and grandfather?
My grandmother and my grandfather, yes. So my grandfather was born in 1900, and my grandmother 1912.
Things were different in
those
days.
Very different. And he was born in Mexico. He was Apache Indian, and my grandmother was a Spaniard. And they grew herbs, and they treated us with herbs.
They were like medicine. They called it herbs was medicine.
It was medicine, and we just thought everyone was treated that way. Very rarely did we go to the doctor because we really weren't sick. And they just did a lot of things that they were taught from their ancestors, from way back when. And I remember a lot of it vividly, but I don't remember the exact reason why this herb was used for this. And now I wish I would have taken the time, but they're no longer here, and all I have is those memories, and they were great memories, but I wish I knew what they were doing.
And so, Angie, would you say that very special knowledge that you were privy to, like I wasn't privy to that, like I just took cough syrup, like the big bottle, right?
We didn't do that. We had herbs.
Got the big tablespoon and the codeine, right? But how would you say that your childhood with that kind of indigenous sort of holistic healing, what would you say was your journey from there to where you are today?
Well, that's what got me here, because that's I did remember later, after both of my grandparents were gone, and that's when I got into herbs and essential oils and remembering some of the things that they did. So I started to work with them, and I started to learn a little bit, and it brought back some memories. There were certain things and certain plants that I remembered, and so I started to work with those, and that's how I got here, basically.
Yeah. How did you start the store?
So I started the store.
I think we're still going. Excuse me.
In 1999 is when I first started. I had the Herb Peddlers, and I was here for 11 years.
The Herb Peddlers.
That was my first store, okay, and I did it because I was selling herbs.
I love that.
If I may, I'll give you a little bit of how I got here, because I was totally guided by spirit.
Okay.
I had no intentions of having a store. I used to work retail at the outlet center, and there was a lady there named Jo who said to me, if you could be doing anything, what would you be doing? And I said, I would be selling herbs and essential oils and incense and candles. Oh, because that's what I did when I was young.
The question.
She did.
The dream, the dream, a little dream question.
And she says, well, why don't you do it? And I said, well, I don't know anything about business. And she said, so she's the one that told me how to get my seller's permit. So I started to sell at farmers markets, and I started to grow herbs, and I would go and pick up herbs from Fallbrook, and
wow, fresh
herbs. Wow. And so then I thought, okay. So then I grew up here in Elsinore, and one day I just drove down Main Street, and my husband had been wanting to eat at the Mexican restaurant, and I'm Mexican, so I didn't want any Mexican food. Okay. And he pulled up in front of this building, and I was frozen in his truck, and I said, I'm going to open up a shop there. Oh my God. As God is my witness. And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, I don't know. So I drove by here every day, trying to get in here so I could see what was in this building. And it was always locked because the person who had the business, was never here. Yeah. And one day I was driving, and I just thought, I got to get in there. Well, in the meantime, this retail store that I'm working for decides they're going to close. Right. So I was only a seasonal worker for like 3 years, so I never was on payroll. And so they said, do you want to stay and help us clean up, and you're not going to get a severance package like everyone else, but we're going to pay you to help us out. And I said, sure. So in the meantime, I'm waiting for this place to come in and walk around and see what was in here.
And then all of a sudden you had a little time on your hands.
Right. Well, then there was a for rent sign. And, oh my God. And Spirit works in mysterious ways, because it was a Sunday, and my husband had to work. Because if he would have come with me, I wouldn't have been here. And my mother came with me, and so I asked the owner if I could come in. He said, well, it's going to be rented. There's no point for you to come in. And I said, no, I have to come in. And I said, just let me look around. So he said, okay. So my mom came with me. We walked in, and my mom said, your dad and I bought our wedding rings in this building. And the owner of the building said, if you want it, you can have it. Oh my gosh. Again, what I'm telling you is the honest to God truth. I back up for it. And he said, okay, I want you to sign a lease. And I said, well, what's that? I knew nothing about business. He said, you got to give me a deposit. I said, I don't have any money. And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, I have no idea. I just know I'm supposed to be here. Oh, my gosh. He literally handed me the keys. He said, I'm going to give you a month to come up with the money if you need help with getting paperwork. And I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I went home. I didn't sleep for 3 nights. I thought, what have I done? My husband's like, what'd you get us into? So I'm sitting at home looking out my living room window, and FedEx pulls up, honks. I go outside. I open it. It was a severance package from the company that I wasn't supposed to get one from.
Oh, I love that they pulled up and honked.
Yeah.
Come on out and get the
I would have done. I got it. It covered every expense I needed. So then I open up the store. I have nothing. I literally have like a couple shelves. I'm sitting here thinking, what have I done? My husband's had a convention to go to in Vegas, and he says, you got to close up and go. You need a break. I go to Vegas. I don't know how to gamble. He was teaching me. I hit a jackpot. Oh my God. And so I said, I'm ready to go back home. And so I literally bought product for my store with that jackpot.
I want to hug you right now.
And it's just amazing. Dang. Spirit works in mysterious ways if you just jump in and take a leap of faith.
Gosh.
Yes. So I was here for 11 years. I left because the economy went downhill. Mm-hmm. I started doing something else. And the owner of the building called me. He goes, I cannot keep anybody in here. Do you want it back? And I said, yes, I'll take it. And I'm here. I'm back. Now I'm the Mindful Lotus.
I know you can't see the
It is
goosebumps on my
the honest
arms,
truth.
but here's where I went. I'm thinking way back when your mom and dad bought their wedding rings right
In this
here,
building,
and to
right
spirit
here.
know
Yeah.
later on that
Mhm.
the union of that
Yes.
marriage
Yes.
belonged here is awesome.
Yes.
Oh, as well.
So
Oh,
so we are
my
holding the
God.
space here, I believe.
It's a wonderful story.
And the building doesn't seem to want anyone else in here.
No, nobody can stay.
No,
You're
no one
meant
can stay.
here.
So
Yeah.
I am here, and I'm grateful. Yes. So that is my little story on how I
That's
got here.
a
So
big
you just
story.
got to follow. Spirit will guide you if you have faith and you trust and you just take a leap of faith and just jump in.
That's exactly that's right there medicine. That's medicine, and that's actually what I'm doing right now. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
I'm going
And
to
you
bring my
never know.
computer over here. We're going to do this interview,
And we're doing
it's like, yeah.
Don't know what we're
yeah,
doing, but we're
yeah.
having a good time. I am at least.
I'm having a wonderful
me
time.
too.
I am
Thank you.
so blessed to know your story, and I know that others
Yes.
will be blessed
Yes.
by it too.
It is
To
the
me,
honest
there's
truth.
a theme there,
Mhm.
and the theme is what you just said. It's that you when you get frozen in your husband's truck and go, I'm supposed to be there.
Right.
Pay attention. Would you say?
And I
Pay
did,
attention?
and I did. I didn't know why, but I just kept on driving by. And when that for rent sign went up, I just thought, I got to get in there and see what is in that building. There's something in there for me.
And sure enough,
And there was.
I want to turn. Maybe I'll just be like a teaser. No, you got to come into the Mindful Lotus. I went to see. I'm looking at
got
the
to come
coolest
visit.
shop
Yes.
right now. It is filled with what we would holistically mind, body, spirit,
Great. Yes.
healing, call medicine.
There's a little something for everyone in this building.
There are
shop.
there are crystals. Angie's got an amazing relationship, I should say, with the stone, with the Stone Nation, right?
They are.
I learned how to say that from the
I'm a
filmmakers.
crystal hoarder.
Yeah, and they all have an amazing energy.
Yes.
There's essential oils. What else do you have here?
We have essential oils, we have candles, we have incense, we've got chakra teas, we've got things for meditation, we've got yoga mats, we've got some clothing. Jewelry, yes. A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Some CBD products.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's a good way to get away from pharmaceuticals.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot of little something for everyone.
Nice. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you one more question, and then we'll just wrap up. So you got that moment in the truck when you knew that you were supposed to be here and to do this, and Spirit has come and made the means possible for you day by day.
Most definitely.
How do you feel about from this moment forward? What is residing in your heart for our community, or what are you hearing?
As far as the shop, or
just like everything, just like in your life, like what do you see? What's your vision?
Well, I one day would hope to have like a wellness center, someplace a little bit bigger, because I have outgrown this place, and I would love to have someplace bigger with some meditation grounds. Because it's needed. We need a place for people to come and buy these type of items because they're going elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And so I just see myself as expanding and growing and living by faith, and my faith in God and being driven by God and by Spirit, and to do for the highest for my brothers and sisters. That's my goal. Is I want to be used as a clear vessel for my brothers and sisters, and for my community, and for Mother Earth, and just to be used as a clear channel to do that. That's what I want to do.
That's a powerful vision. Yeah. I now that I know your story, I'm like, okay, there's the next one. There's the next big vision. Lake Elsinore. I love it here. I never imagined that I would land here. It was just a temporary thing. I was going to rent a house for a little bit until we can
you're still here.
Go somewhere else. And I literally have fallen in love with this space with the town of Lake Elsinore, the little historic Main Street, the lake itself. I can feel. I don't know if it's. No, it's not my imagination. I can feel the energy of the people that lived here before we did, and then those who have lived here ever since as well. We do have our challenges, don't we? Here
we do, but I think every city has challenges.
This is true too.
Ours team seem to be pointed out a little bit more than others, but that's okay. That's okay.
We're not that fancy. We're not fancy like Orange County, and
that's okay. That's okay. We got good people here.
We do.
We've got good people here. It's a nice little community. Of course, there's some changes that could be made, but I think that's anywhere that you go.
Well, on my way here, I saw that in my town, which is where Jasmine Hill is in Wildemar, which is another little speck on the map. Like it's like a little tiny blink and you miss it. We're getting sidewalks.
Oh,
on
wow.
Mission Trail. This is amazing. Sidewalks. Yes, today I was like, oh, there's a curb. They've got all the cones. That's
people who watch this who don't live around here are going to think, what?
I know.
They don't have sidewalks?
I know. This is Southern California, people. This is 40 minutes from Dana Point.
Yes.
40 minutes from Mission Viejo. Some very, very high-end communities.
And we're not far from the mountains or from the desert. We're right in center of all of the goodness around us too, and we've got goodness here too.
But there's a need for healing here.
Yes, most definitely.
That we have sort of like a reputation for, I think, people being dropped off here after they serve their prison terms.
But that's everywhere, because I do
sit
on the board for the downtown merchants, and we aren't the only community. There's our surrounding communities. It's happening to them as well. It's just not talked about as much as it is here. Yeah. This place seems to be targeted for that, but it is everywhere. Every area gets their allotment of.
Of drop-offs.
Yes.
Right. But what we do have is the power of the actual lake. The lake itself, I think, is one of the only non-man-made and natural lakes in Southern California. I remember studying about it, and the mountains up above the lake are in the original people came under and gathered on the shore of the lake underneath the full moon.
Yes,
that was part of
gatherings.
That was part of their traditions, and we started that about 1.5 years ago, and we've kept on. We gather under the full moon because it felt like it was the right thing to do.
Right. We used to. Yeah. When I first opened my store, I met a woman named Catherine, and she worked out of here. She was a massage therapist, and she is the one that brought the goddess vibe to me.
Really?
I had heard about it, but I didn't know anyone in this area that was doing any kind of goddess work or full moon gatherings. And so she said, let's do one. So we started doing the new moon here, but we started doing the full moon at the lake.
At the lake.
And we first gathered over on this end of the lake, but then we ended up over on that end where we met, where the water. We started doing those, and people were like, who does this kind of thing? And I said, Catherine's the one that turned me on to the whole goddess vibe. I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And I just said, hey, I'll just jump in with you. Let's just do it. So we did it. And it grew, and we got, but then it got cold and it got rainy.
It does get cold.
So then we stopped doing it, and then other people started doing it. So that's good. You have to give other people the opportunity to give it a shot. So we just attend.
Now you attend, and there's a lot to attend right now.
We don't facilitate anymore, so we just attend.
Yeah. We've since Angie's really started this wellness fair, there's been just I don't know, almost just like a blooming of a wellness flower, a bubbling up. And now there are drum circles on the lake. There's meditations on the lake. We just got a yoga studio a couple doors down. We've got Mindful Lotus, and there really is a community of people. All right. Once again, how can people get in touch with you?
They could either contact me through email, themindfullotus@yahoo.com. They could also call the store, like the phone's ringing right now. The number's 951-245-8785. We're also on Facebook. We're on Instagram. You can message me there. However you choose to.
Okay, and
I'm
again, available. The date for the Wellness Fair?
The Wellness Fair is Saturday, May 18th from 11 to 5 at the Lake Elsinore City Park.
Right here, exit off the 15 freeway at Main Street, Lake Elsinore, and it's funky and old and historic and getting more awesome every minute.
And come down to the Mindful Lotus. We'll direct you down there. We'll give you some more information if you need it. But yeah, and vendor spaces are still available if anyone's interested. Let me know.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Namaste.
Thank you. I honor you. Thank you.
And all of you guys.
Thank you.